We're hanging out with David Nathan. David Nathan, the author of the book, The Soulful Divas, that's right, and his take on R&B diva Anita Baker. It's up next. Let's talk. Hi everybody, how you doing out there? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode over here at Pepe's Point of View. I am your R&B historian, Pepe, and we're talking about David Nathan's book, The Soulful Divas. Okay, David Nathan. In this chapter, we're talking about Anita Baker. That's right. So we're gonna hop right into it. Here's a friendly reminder that I am not associated with David Nathan or Anita Baker, any of them at all. I do suggest that you go out and get the book. If you haven't purchased this book, I suggest you go out and get it. It's Anita Baker. I have not read, okay, this particular chapter on Anita Baker. But I decided I want to hang out with David and talk about these R&B divas. So get David Nathan on the phone if you know David Nathan, and get Anita Baker on the phone. You know, we've talked about her, several times over here. And let's just see what David had to say about Anita Baker, okay? So for Divas, Anita Baker, this is not paid promotion at all. Just want to see what he has to say. Interesting. When Anita Baker first walked into a room in the relatively small offices that housed Elektra Records back in March 1986, I expected a 6-foot Amazon in her 40s or so. At the very least, a big chest church diva. The kind that has people yelling, "Sing, girl, sing," on Sunday mornings all over the United States. When a bubbly, petite woman in her late 20s, all of 5'0", entered the equally tiny room Elektra had given us to talk in, I thought she was probably a secretary who had come to inform me that the subject of my interview, Anita Baker, was running just a few minutes late when the woman chirped. "Hi, I'm Anita." I almost fell over. "Oh," I stumbled, trying to compose myself. "Oh, pleased to meet you." Later on in the interview, which I conducted for the now-defunct British magazine Street Scene, I confessed that based on having heard Anita's Songstress album, but never having seen her perform, I formed a mental picture of her that was clearly at odds with the vibrant, young, and relatively tiny woman I was meeting. She laughed when I told her that I couldn't believe such a big, booming voice could come out of such a small frame. Did anyone else ever have the same reaction? Well, David, I don't know. I mean, I think for me, being that I am a product of the 70s, but, I'm all through the 80s, and I just love my 80s divas, I would have to say I wasn't surprised. When I came across Anita Baker's Anita Baker's video for Sweet Love, for the most part, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think anything about it because by that time, and that's 1986, right? So by that time, I'm used to thin, big voice, big hair divas. Patti LaBelle was thin, big voiced, big hair, big chest. Shaka Khan, Melissa Morgan came out the same. Angela Winbush came out the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think for the 80s, it was thin, big hair, big voice. unless we get into the other divas, and then we have to talk about Phyllis Hyman and how she felt about them. You understand what I'm saying? Because she said some of them divas couldn't sing. They know who they are. Hey, it's what it is. I didn't say it. I'm just saying. Later on in the interview, which I conducted for the now defunct British magazine Street Scene, hold on. Sorry. See, y'all got me confused over here. None of us knew that day that Anita. See, I'm all over the place, child. Where am I? It was the question. Lord, and I'm not going to skip anything. I'm not. Okay, I see where I was. Yes, she grinned. But that voice has been coming out of me since I was 15. You know what I've learned in this life? Don't worry about it if you mess up or whatever. Just keep going. Don't worry about what people think. You messed up too. Yes, she grinned, but that voice has been coming out of me since I was 15. And I really get a kick out of the fact that people expect me to be this huge, big woman. Okay. None of us knew that day that Anita would experience the kind of meteoric international fame, or that she would be acclaimed as one of the most influential song stylists of the 1980s. Perhaps she hoped for some response from Rapture, her groundbreaking first album for Elektra, but she couldn't have imagined that it would go on to sell an astounding 6 million copies worldwide. She also wouldn't have known that the follow-up, Giving You the Best That I've Got, would sell another 3 million. That by 1995, she would earn 8 Grammy Awards, and that in the world of contemporary music, she was an established, respected artist who could take her place of pride alongside the other divas, included here. Included here means this book. Reaching this exalted plateau came with its share of challenges and bad press, and led to Anita's reputation as one of the most difficult women to work with in the music business. Ooh, we'll talk, David, just tell it all. Over the years since I first met Anita, I've heard all the stories, yelling at sound people. Ooh, we got to talk. Ooh, we got to talk. Snappy with airplane stewards, getting furious with record producers, angry with record executives, nasty with managers, and being a bitch to work with in a nightmare in the recording studio. Yes, I've seen, or more correctly, heard Anita Baker when she wasn't feeling it and didn't want to be bothered with me. Wait a minute. David, you're saying that David is saying Anita Baker was like, David, I want to be... I'm sorry. He said it's his words, not mine. Well, child, this is going to be good. I've seen her getting PISSED with a sales assistant in a snooty Beverly Hills department store who looked at her as if she didn't belong there because she wasn't some rich white bitch. Upon seeing Anita's Platinum American Express card, however, that particular sales assistant changed her mind, especially when, much to her amazement, it went through for the several $100s Anita was paying for Christmas gifts. I can't defend Anita against all the comments I've heard because I wasn't there when many of these incidents occurred. We got to talk now. Oh my gosh, we got to talk. I think you guys already know what I'm thinking. A fellow Aquarian, Anita, like Roberta Flack, is a woman of many moods. Roberta Flack is also covered in this book. She has an overriding concern for giving her audiences her best, either on stage or on record, and her desire for perfection can cause her to be a pain in the ass for some of the people she has to work with. But I can only speak from my experience. I've hung out with her backstage in DC and Los Angeles and at Grammy and Soul Train Music Awards shows, gone shopping with her, sat at her Grosse Pointe kitchen drinking a strawberry smoothie, written one of one of her tour programs, attempted to write a song with her, and always welcome our conversations. I know her as someone who loves being at home with her husband, Walter. They're now divorced, and her two sons. Takes the time to pass an essential knowledge to up and coming artists, and is never reluctant to give prompts to other divas such as Shaka Khan, uh, Aretha Franklin, and Sarah Vaughan, all of whom influenced her. So forgive me, but I am a little biased. Undoubtedly possess one of the most instantly recognizable voices in contemporary music. Anita has been doing her musical theme for a good quarter of a century. Even though her recording career only started in 1979, music has been an essential element in her life since her birth, January 26, 1958, in Toledo, Ohio. Only in recent years has she been willing to say much about her childhood and how she was raised. In a lengthy 1994 interview for Blues and Soul, she touched upon the subject when I asked about the inspiration for songs she writes. I didn't expect the answer I got. I wish I could tell you that I consciously write in a particular way, but how I write has to do with being a motherless child. No matter how wonderful the parents God gave me were, part of what I found out when I was having my own children is the effect that being a motherless child has on my entire life, she replied. Oh, oh, oh. Mm, okay. Well, let's talk because I wasn't ready for this. Ooh, David has given us much to talk about. Well, first of all, you already know what went to my mind when David was talking about her being difficult. Most recently, don't want to rehash that story over again, but what happened betwixt her and Babyface. But I'm just saying, let's move right along. Let's talk about Anita Baker. Let's talk about the end part, being a motherless child. So I was on this a part of this podcast called the Timeless. What would we call Timeless something? But anyway, I was part of this podcast, right? And we would talk about some R&B divas, and one of the R&B divas we discussed was Aretha Franklin. And oh gosh, y'all making me tired. Let's just say alleged. Oh gosh, time capsules. That's it. Time capsules. I'm sorry, you guys out there. But and we were discussing Aretha Franklin's behavior with other R&B divas, and we kind of talked about the fact that since she didn't, Aretha Franklin did not have the best relationship with her mother, that was probably the reason why she didn't seem like she got along with other females. And I don't know, there are several movies about her, a couple of movies about her life, but I'm talking about the one with Jennifer Hudson in it. I forget the name of it, but that Aretha Franklin's movie. And was it Dana Washington? She was singing some of her songs at a show, and Dana got upset. Like, oh my gosh, you do not sing the Queen's music in front of the Queen. And I think that had a lot to do with Aretha Franklin's perspective of other R&B divas as well. She just looked like she just didn't get along with them. Where I'm going with that, maybe since Anita Baker has talked about this in an interview with David Nathan, being a motherless child, is that maybe she has not had any difficulty with dealing with other R&B divas or what have you, but maybe she has had some difficulty, with others. But I don't think so. Well, follow me. Follow me. Like, I always never go down the path that everybody else goes down. I like if I like to do it differently. Just because, not to be, oppositional, but hey, let's try another take on this. Let's look at Anita Baker's career. We're just going to talk about her career. So she releases an album in 1979 with the group Chapter 8, right? I Just Want to Be Your Girl. She sings lead on. And for the most part, from my understanding, I could be wrong, that Chapter 8 was dropped from their record company because Arista Records purchased the company. And word on the street is Clive Davis just didn't say she didn't think she could sing. Like, he is what it was. I'm just letting you know. That's what I have read and kind of, understand. Putting that aside, though, so then she gets the opportunity to record another album, like this time a solo album. And she's pretty much working with her Chapter 8 band members. And she gets the opportunity to go in and to work with them. Long story short story long. She releases an album, from my understanding, the Songstress album. This here is not the original album. This here album is the Elektra Records album, the Songstress, not the Beverly Glenn's album. Okay, same album, different cover. So anywho, so Anita Baker, the Songstress album is released. Angel, You're the Best Thing Yet. And what's the other one? No More Tears. These songs are released off the album. Long story short, she's on tour with the likes of who? Frankie, Beverly, and Maze. And well, she's been told she's not making any money. Like, there's none. There's no money, Anita. We ain't got none. We don't have any to pay. We don't have any. There's no sales. So anyway, so Anita Baker ends up leaving the record company. She ends up, in lawsuits with the record company, so on and so forth. And this is the reason why Elektra Records has the Songstress album. Okay, y'all go and figure all that stuff out legally and all that stuff out, or how it occurred. But I'm just here to tell you, she went in and she recorded her next album, Rapture, Caught Up in the Rapture, which, by the way, I can't find, but I know I have it around here somewhere. So she records that album. Now, let me tell you, from my understanding, when Anita Baker started to record this album, I think somehow or another, she spends all the money. So let's just say they gave her $250,000 to record Caught Up in the Rapture. They give her this money. She does not manage the money well as far as the recording process. It is what it is. She's the executive producer of the project, but for whatever reason, she runs out of money. I don't think that Elektra Records, from my understanding, was willing to give her any money after that. Like, so Anita Baker goes into her own pocket and she has some money of her own. She go in and she finishes the album. Okay. After she finished the album, they released the album, and of course, the album is musical history, right? Now, Anita Baker learns a hard lesson, okay, about what she needs to do in order to, produce these albums, executive produce these albums. She's dealt with the record company with Beverly Glenn saying that they done hoodwinked her too, and everything. So in my mind, what I'm saying is Anita Baker is being difficult to work with in the business. It's easy to say that when you're speaking up for yourself and you're taking control and in charge of your career. So for me, the only thing that I can simply say is, I guess you could say I'm siding with Anita Baker from a creative business side of it, because from the very beginning in her career, just like most people have been, they've been hoodwinked and bamboozled, and they've been, people have taken from them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, do what I tell you to do, and don't worry about where the money's coming from, or when you're going to get paid. I'm going to pay you. You're going to get paid. The money is coming. Sorry, I hate to inform you, but it sounds like to me Anita Baker is not that kind of woman, because she's been taken advantage of. Okay. And so now Anita Baker knows how she wants to be packaged. She knows how she wants to sound. I wish I could find the Rapture album. I just felt incomplete without having the Rapture album right here, and I don't know where it is. But let's just say she has established herself that way. All right. So then here we are with Anita Baker with Giving You the Best That I've Got. This very well could be, if she does not have a bad reputation during the Rapture album, she's probably definitely is about to get a bad reputation with the Giving You the Best That I've Got album. And the reason why I tell you that is somewhere between this album and this album, okay, is when I started to hear as a youngster that Anita Baker could possibly be difficult to work with. And allegedly, Michael J. Powell, if I'm not mistaken, asked another big-time record producer, who I'm not going to name, like, dealing with a difficult singer. He never said who the singer was. And the response, the big-time producer responded to Michael J. Powell, when they're all difficult when they reach that point in their careers. Okay? So my thing is that, could it be just her personality as a motherless child? Definitely. I'm not making excuses for that. But it's easy to pinpoint someone being difficult and being a female at that, and then all of a sudden say, oh, well, she's a bitch, right? You can say that. Or if you are a black male or African-American male or whatever, then if you are difficult to work with, you are aggressive. And if you are anything other than that, then you're smart and you take charge and you know what you want and so on and so forth, right? And think about it. She's a black woman going into this store, and obviously looked down upon, because maybe there have been some people of a certain skin color going in and cars are declining and all of that stuff. I'm just saying. And so people look like, okay, we don't know. Can you really afford this? Do you see what I'm saying? And so I would like to think, even myself, I would look at you like, so what? You thought I couldn't afford it? Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to think that your natural reaction would be to respond to someone when you look at them and go like, huh? I don't know why in the top of my head I'm thinking about the episode of A Different World, when Whitley's character goes into the store and she's buying all of these things, and then I don't know, did her dad take her credit cards from her? Her dad did something, or told her she had to return some of the things, and then Jaleesa's character was telling her, she needs to take it back. Eventually, she does take it back, but before she does it, she tells Jaleesa, you want me to return all of these things and have this woman thinking that I can't afford it? So, I know what it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think in that episode, because the woman didn't think Whitley could afford the things in the store, Whitley just started buying things. Whitley just bought a lot of things out of the store she really didn't need, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she didn't need or whatever, just to prove to the lady, I could buy these things. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But anyway, she returned it and then basically, told the lady, hey, I wish you were playing, dumb and stupid, but you don't want you're prejudiced, you're racist, all of that stuff, and because you didn't think that I could afford it. So anyway, so I can basically understand that part when it comes to in the recording studios. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you think about it when it comes to Anita Baker and her being difficult to work with, and then saying being short with him. That's what David said. Oh my gosh, this is about to reach the 30-minute mark on this. So this this is going to be interesting to read the rest of this. I know I'm gonna come back and talk about this because I haven't finished this at all. Uh, I don't know. Again, Anita Baker has also said, and I said it once again, I think I said it in a previous video, you have to be honest with yourself when you think about it. The lighting is off. Wait a minute. People are not saying that the light guy, it's bad lighting, like he's doing a bad job. People are going to say Anita Baker, the lighting was off, at her show. The sound was off at her show. I've seen some been in a couple of concerts, and I watched some where the band got off on the wrong note, like instantly, and the singer stopped and said, "No, we will not do it this way." Like, wait a minute, and started the song over again. Like, this is not, no, we won't do it this way. And I respect it. People, they want to get it right, practice. So I don't know. I don't know. It's like, hey, we're not going to do it my way. You don't want to do it my way. Well, fine, baby. Give me my recording, equipment or whatever the case may be, and let me go. And we'll do this over again when we have, like minds, because at the end of the day, this is my ideal, and I am hiring you, paying you to do a particular job, and you're not trying to hear me. So in my mind, I don't know. I don't know. And then to Anita Baker, yeah, I know it sounds like I'm rambling all over the place, and maybe I am, and I don't care. I really don't care. Baby, this is what it is. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Go out and get the book. Go out and get the book. Yeah. All right, then. Well, on that note, if you made it this far, then I think it's only appropriate for me to ask you to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, all of those things. And hang out with me as we talk about some R&B divas. And also, too, don't forget over here, my motto is simple. Put your behind where your heart desires to be. And whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I love you. Thank you guys so much for your support. All right. Until then, take care of yourselves and see you next video.